So 2 days ago, Claude released an extension for Cowork, which is for small businesses. So this has a pretty wide range of functionality. You have functions for payroll. You also have functions for setting up marketing pipelines, in addition to about 10 to 15 other features. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over all of the features for accounting and how that can benefit your business. And if you actually want to either have someone train your employees, or if you want me to directly integrate developers into your company, you can reach out to me and we can get that set up. All right, so the initial setup is pretty simple. So all you got to do is literally just type in Claude for small business, it'll pop up and you log in as usual. So what you're going to do is just actually get it is just scroll down here and you literally just click on download plugin, right? If you don't already have a Claude Cowork, then you can just download that and go here, open it up. And then as you can see, you have all of these different plugins with the small business extension, right? So you have Business Pulse, Review, you have a CRM, you have Canva, all different kinds of plugins that you can use that are massively beneficial for your business. It's going to save you a lot of time. So after the small business extension is done installing, it literally takes a couple seconds. What we're going to do is we're going to go all the way down here to Plan Payroll, and we're going to check this out and go over all the features when it comes to this. All right, so once you got that set up and you're already logged in, what you can do is you can go to the Cowork tab in the middle. So on the left-hand side, you're going to have all the chats that you would normally have on the browser version of Claude. And then on the right side, you'll just have this extension for software engineering, coding, where you would just use that terminal specifically for tasks related to that. Now, what I did here was simply just open up a new conversation with this prefix right here, just to explain the functionality of payroll and general accounting. So as you can see, we have essentially 7 sections of functionality, but the ones that I'm going to go over specifically are cash flow forecasting and payroll planning. So for the cash flow forecasting, a 30, 60, 90-day look at where your bank balance is heading, pulling in AR, AP, recurring costs, and your historical payment timing. It flags name risk. The Henderson invoice typically pays 18 days late. That lands you under 4K mid-month, not just generic warnings. It's delivered as a chat summary plus a downloadable spreadsheet. Claude can forecast whether the cash will be there, rank your overdue invoices by who's most likely to pay quickly, and stage gentle reminder emails so you can collect before the run date. You'll say something like, "Can I make payroll on the 30th?" and get a real answer with the math behind it. So the thing that I like most about these functionalities is the fact that this saves me a lot of time from tasks that are very important. Obviously, accounting is one of the most important things that you can do for your business. However, it's obviously not the main driver for a business like mine. So the main driver of my business, how I get leads, how I get clients, is through content. Whether it's a mid-form video on YouTube, which is about 10 to 15 minutes, whether it's short-form content on Instagram, about 30 seconds, or it's a long form webinar on LinkedIn, these videos is how I generate attention, generate traffic, and convert these leads into actual clients. So pretty much everything outside of that is sucking away time that I could be spending editing videos, shooting videos, adding transitions, making it interesting and engaging so that people pay attention. And also on that topic, in future videos, I'm actually going to go over how Claude can actually help you with video editing, because this is pretty much the main thing that takes up the majority of my time when shooting videos. Shooting videos is, pretty straightforward, doesn't take a whole lot of time. However, editing them is a pretty lengthy and tedious process. So any way that I can cut down on that and I can use automation tools to actually help me with that will massively help out my business and help me increase my lead flow via getting these videos out faster. So because I use Square, I'm going to use that within the example, and I'm just going to briefly go through this, right? So the connection happens entirely in your browser. Claude never sees or stores your Square credentials. The flow looks like this. You trigger the connection, you'd say something like connect Square or set up my Square account. Claude opens an authentication prompt that points to Square's OAuth page. Sign in on Square's side, straightforward. Square redirects back, you verify, and then you pair with QuickBooks, right? So Square alone tells Claude what came in. QuickBooks tells it what's going on or what's going out, rent, payroll, suppliers, tax accruals. For real forecasting, you want both. The QuickBooks Connect flow is the same OAuth pattern. The whole thing usually takes under 3 minutes. You can revoke access from Square's dashboard anytime, and Claude will surface a connection loss message if a token expires. Once connected, Claude reads your daily gross sales by location and item category, your sentiment timing, processing fees by transaction type, refunds and chargebacks, recurring subscriptions if you bill through Square, and day of week and seasonality patterns from your last 12 months. And this is layered onto your QuickBooks data, so your AR aging, AP due dates, recurring expenses, payroll schedule. Claude builds a daily projected balance. So going straight into the cash flow forecast, let's say you run Maple Street Coffee, a 2-location cafe using Square for point of sale and QuickBooks for the books. You ask, forecast my cash flow for the next 60 days. Here's what comes back. So your cash flow snapshot. Maple Street Coffee generated May 15th, 2026, based on trailing 12-month Square data plus QuickBooks ARAP, right? So your current cash position is $42,000 operating account. 60-day projected low is 11,400 on June 3rd, and your 60-day projected high is $48,900 on May 31st. So your confidence band is about 8%. So your sales pattern is highly predictable, right? So as a coffee shop, you're always going to have people coming in and out. So it makes sense that the confidence band would be within that kind of range. So your projected daily inflows could look something like your weekday average would be $2,300 gross, and then $2,200 net after fees. You also have your weekend average and your sentiment lag. And for the expenses, right, this is very important. So your payroll will be $14,200 every other Friday, right? So $42,600 total. So your rent would be $6,800 on the first with location A, and $4,200 also on the first within location B. So that would be about $11,000 on June 1st, right? So you have your coffee supplier and you have all the other expenses and outflows as well. And keep in mind when you're actually going through the numbers of your business and you're looking over all the data, the inflows, the outflows, all of this is done extremely quickly, right? So something that would take maybe a couple hours doing this by hand, you could literally have Claude go through all your books and automatically pull all of this data within a matter of maybe 30 seconds. So overall, the amount of time that you save is going to be massive, and it's really going to help you focus on the things that matter most for your business.